I went to Darjeeling for the first time when I was 19. My favourite surf spot, I'd found a book on Buddhism in the sandhills. I really wanted to get into that. And I wanted to study sitar. We went up this Gandhi Road in Darjeeling. We were looking for Tenzing Norgay's house and we saw all these flags, so we figured that must be Tenzing Norgay's house. So that's where we went. And that's where we met Kangyur Rinpoche. We knocked on the door and Amala, his wife, opened the door, looked at us. Tuku Pema Wangjiao, Kangyur Rinpoche's son, came down and said, we've been waiting for you. Come in, come in. And we just stayed there from then on. In the 1950s, there were a lot of Tibetans leaving the country. At that time, Kangyur Rinpoche realised that the Buddhist teachings, until then which had been preserved by Tibetans, were in danger.
When we heard that there is Chinese is going to invade Tibet, I think 3 or 4 years ago, Rinpoche says we should leave. It's not safe. His Holiness, the written letter says he must go, he should go, but he should take some collections of the Kangyur, the text.
This was 2 Chinese lorry loads of packaged books. They had to carry them literally physically over the Himalayan mountains. His children were very young at that time. The journey took them over 3 years. Once in Darjeeling in 1960, Kangyur Rinpoche established Urgong Kunsong Choling, which was a monastery at 54 Gandhi Road. His first Western students began arriving in the 1970s. There was only about a dozen of us at that time, and he took us in as if we were part of his family.
His door was always open. We would come in without even knocking at the door, just go like this, and then we would sit on the floor, next to him. He would look at us like that, carry on what he has to do.
When I first met Kangyur Rinpoche, he was 73 years old. He passed away when he was 77. So, like many Western students, like all the Western students, we only knew him for a very short amount of time. But that very short amount of time was life-changing for all of us.
There was this feeling of unity and this feeling of being really part of something special. The physical teacher went and disappeared, but still the feeling is still there.
When we speak of a guru in the press, usually it's not very good. It's someone who manipulates people. So, in the case of a genuine, authentic spiritual master, he's someone who had nothing to lose and nothing to gain, but everything to give, everything to share.
He brought there was about 100 bundles. The main reason to bring it to India was to preserve the Buddhist teachings, not as a rare, sacred thing, but more as something that is indispensable to the happiness of so many sentient beings.
After Rinpoche died, at his request, some of the most senior Tibetan lamas took residence in France, making the Dharma accessible to the whole of the Western world. 30 years ago, I was a sitar player and a practicing Buddhist, and then life just went whoosh, and there were other things I was involved in. Then now I'm back, and I really want to go back to Darjeeling and find Kangyur Rinpoche, where I left him. We're going to go back to Darjeeling for the first time in 30 years and tell Kangyur Rinpoche's story.